Hello, I am Lisa J. Stocks, and I am here with your Sunday Stock Talk episode. So I'm going to stick to my topic that I shared of talking about tariffs for today. I know the crypto market is on fire after Trump's recent announcements, but I'm going to do a separate video on that. So sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. So let's get started on our topic of the day. Let me know you guys are out there. Leave me some comments in the chat. So, have you guys been thinking about tariffs? Has this issue been on your minds on what impact is going to come? Now, there's nothing that we can do about it. The election is long done. The administration is in place. And now we just have to wait and see and we live in America. We have to live with what is going to be occurring. So let's get started talking about our topic, understanding tariffs and our impact, how we will be impacted as just regular consumers, as well as, the retirees and people that are on a fixed income, especially. Yeah, double speak. You got your pen and paper. I hope I give you something that you feel is worthy of writing down and taking notes today. So let's get started. Back to the topic of the day. If you guys are just coming in, I was saying I know crypto is on fire and everything. With the announcements from Trump, I already posted the upcoming earnings to my community page, but I'll do a crypto video, I hope, as soon as I get off of this live. So please check that out. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen. That news just hit this afternoon, so be on the lookout for that video. But the topic of the day, understanding tariffs and their impact on consumers. So tariffs are taxes placed on imported goods by the government. And if you've been keeping up with the news and headlines, you know that this is something that Trump is going to be implementing, whether it's something coming from Canada, Mexico, China. We as consumers, I'm speaking generally, we know that most of our products are not coming from within the US, but we're going to see with these tariffs that he puts in place how much our budget is impacted by these things being in place on pretty much so many food items and different things that I'm going to get into. So the goal of this is to make foreign products more expensive, encouraging us Americans to buy American-made goods. But we will have to see how that works out in the long run and what impact we have, because we get so many resources and products, and as I said, even food items from outside of the US. So we're going to take a look at the latest US tariff policies, how these prices are going to further impact us with what we're going through with inflation, the effects on those, like I said, especially those that have a fixed income or a low income, those retirees, all those type of people that fall into that category, and those key changes that are coming up related to this. So Peachy, you are here in the chat. I know you've said you've been busy on Sundays. Thanks for tuning in. So the U.S. has imposed new tariffs, and I think more are going to be coming very soon. So these tariffs mean, this is what we assume. Trump's intention is that these tariffs are to protect American manufacturers, reduce our reliance on foreign goods, and close the trade deficit. So there's less imports coming in. So that, we're exporting more, we're importing more than what we export. So there are downsides to this, though. We could potentially be facing, or it seems likely that we will be facing, higher costs from those imported goods, especially industries heavily reliant on the global trade. And it's a lot. When we dig into it, we're going to see how much it could be. So a lot of changes are going to be occurring on March 1st, on March 4th, sorry. The tariffs on aluminum and steel, for example. And then in April, next month, we're going to be having auto tariffs introduced. I'm not sure exactly what day, but it's coming very soon. So I said this a few weeks ago, if there's anything that you did need, to buy it sooner than later, so that if there is a chance that you could get around being impacted by this, depending on what you needed, you could get it out of the way before we are potentially having to pay more, because no one needs that going on in their budget. We're already stressed with everything, just basic things that we need to have in our households. So what is going to be the impact? Higher prices on cars, building material, consumer products. Businesses that rely on imports will face increased costs. I was just watching on the news recently, and they were interviewing someone that owns a brewery. And he was planning on starting to increase his production, but now he's thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know how I'm going to manage what I'm already doing. And it's all related to the cans that he uses in the preparation of his beer. So the intention behind it, as I said, is that we will not be reliant on other countries, but at the same time, this is the America that we've been living in for a while now. And so for this to come on quite suddenly, it's going to take a bit for us to be able to navigate a new way of getting the things that we need, and at a reasonable price for us, the consumer. But back to what I was saying. When the tariffs are passed, the companies, of course, like with everything else, they're going to pass it on to us, the consumer. They're not eating the costs, so it's going to come and trickle down to us. So we're going to see an increase in prices when it comes to cars and trucks, and the parts, especially, which is probably something of a regular occurrence for us, as opposed to buying a car itself. Electronics like laptops and our phones and appliances, of course, food and beverage, like I just mentioned with the brewery example, aluminum costs, canned goods, sodas, everything that, we have to think about the big picture. I don't think there's probably anyone that's watching the live right now that could think of, if you are a regular person like me, there are so many things in your households that are going to be impacted by a change like this. We're not living on a farm and doing our own canning and so self-sufficient. We buy lots of manufactured products. So let's see. So families could face hundreds more per year for just those essential goods. Businesses might reduce hiring and cut employees' hours due to the rising costs, because when prices rise, then it's going to trickle down. I'm going to use Walmart, some examples from Walmart, because I wanted to try to focus on a basic retailer, just to let you know that there's kind of no way around this. We will most likely be impacted, even if we are a mindful consumer, not doing anything fancy. We know that just going to the store and just buying basic eggs, chicken, I'm not talking about anything fancy or organic or anything like that. Just regular items are very expensive. We all know this. So thank you, Lonnie, the one, Joe. Thank you, everyone that has tuned in so far. David. So we are already dealing with inflation pressures, and now these tariffs can potentially or it seems highly likely that they will fuel it even more by what it's going to do, make those imported goods more expensive. So everyday expenses like groceries and gas and clothing are going to become more expensive. And I was watching someone else's, watching a news clip, and they were joking that that's it. We won't be having any more guacamole for a while. But yeah, it's like we're used to kind of, I think, our age range, our generation, we're used to having accessibility to different things. Even if I live in the North, but I don't know a time when, in my lifetime where I didn't have access to even an orange, a banana, a mango, something like that. Whereas maybe an older person, even that was used to be a luxurious kind of a treat for them, because there wasn't that network available that goods could get to you so quickly. But we don't know that anymore. We eat we can go to the store and get a fresh pineapple or whatever it is. But we have to also think about the big picture, that all of these things, many things that we are used to being able to get, are coming from outside of the US. And this is where the impact that I wanted to talk about today, where we could be hardest hit. So let's see, bigger concerns. So talking about, those on a more fixed income, or those Double Speak says he's starting his garden. Yeah, I mean, I am a gardener, but yeah, I don't know that garden. It couldn't help me as much as I think I'm going to need. But not to say that I'm not going to do it too. So we're already dealing with inflation, as I said. So high cost of living. I'm going to touch on some different things. Healthcare. We're all seeing the rising housing costs, insurance costs, especially car insurance. We know that materials, even before this issue has occurred, we were seeing the increase in costs in building materials, which was going to lead to our property and insurance increases. It's all just year after year been trickling down to us. So, like I said at the beginning, I see what the focus was, what the administration is attempting to do, but even if it's hopefully short term, it's going to impact us greatly. So when it comes to some of the biggest concerns, like I already touched on, we have groceries, we have healthcare, we have housing costs. All of this is going to cause investment volatility, because depending on where you're at, like I was saying, those retirees, not that you draw all of your money, you don't draw your money out at one time, you take it little by little once you're in that stage, but still they're going to be seeing a reduction in their portfolios if the market is going through a lot of swings, and that can be very unnerving to people. So healthcare expenses, medical devices, prescription drugs may also be impacted by this, because there are also things that could potentially be a part of things that we've been importing. So what we have to do, as always, as we've been talking about all the time, even before this occurred, that we need to be on top of our budget. If we can shift our investments to take advantage of sectors that will be less affected or could potentially thrive due to this change, we can do that. Like I said earlier, I'm going to do a separate video on crypto. This administration and what's been going on, it made me shift my focus on my investment strategy when it came to crypto. So you just have to stay informed, and if this is a goal, building your wealth is a goal, then you then have to be ready to adjust and be in line with what is going to help you to achieve that. So we have to stay informed with the changes that are going on in the market. And, so we can have our eyes open already. So when these things happen, we are, ready to deal with it the best way possible. So let's see, what else did I have here? How can we try to mitigate the effects of what is going to go on? We can strive to buy domestic products in order to avoid tariffs. Now, I don't know how I'm going to implement that in my own personal life yet, but obviously we're going to have our eyes open to it if we are seeing rising costs that we are unable to keep up with. Look for alternative products, refurbished products. Like I said, try to get it now sooner than later because we don't know what the next few years may hold. Have a cash buffer. We've been talking about that for if you've been around here, I'm always talking about that, having that emergency funds, so that we can deal with extra expenses, and especially so that we are not running ourselves into credit card debt, high interest credit card debt, because of expenses that we're not predicting, but this is why I want to talk about these things. This is not exactly stock market related, but it's going to impact us, and I am going to tie it to some stock market things. So thank you so much, my channel member and mod Joe, for greeting everyone and giving everyone that reminder to hit the like. And if you're not already, subscribe. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing me out. Okay. So now I'm going to use Walmart as an example. But what I'm going to be talking about, whether it's Walmart or other low-cost retailers, I want you to know that just because you think I'm not doing anything, I'm not making any big purchases. I'm just dealing with the regular norm. So you're going to be impacted there too, because even budget-friendly stores like a Walmart cannot be immune to these new tariffs. So keep your eyes open. I don't know how much of this is going to impact us, but there's definitely there's going to be changes coming up right around the corner on March 4th. Next month, there's going to be other changes coming related to car imports. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I don't know how much all of these different categories are going to be impacted, but I want us to be ready and not be surprised. Be prepared, not surprised. So Walmart has warned that tariffs will raise the cost of their everyday essential items in spite of efforts to negotiate with suppliers. Some costs they will have to pass them on to the consumers. So when we think about what items is Walmart importing, they are importing pretty much everything, clothing and shoes. So the tariffs will affect textiles and footwear, and that will bring higher prices when it comes to our apparel. Then when it comes to household goods and cleaning supplies, for example, we have paper products and toilet paper and the laundry detergent, the regular stuff that I definitely will go on my app and set up a curbside pickup for, to do at Walmart, for example, from time to time. Those prices on those essential goods could be impacted because we are reliant upon those raw materials that are used in these type of household items. And then, not an everyday purchase, but even appliances, small appliances or large appliances, whether it's a toaster, a microwave, whatever it is, when you look on the back of your items around your house. I know I was having an issue with my printer recently. Of course, you look on the back of anything around your house, where did it come from? Most likely it was not made in the USA. So the components for our phones and our tablets and our TVs and just everything. So, and Walmart is a place that many people go to for low-cost electronics. And this is a place that is going to be impacted. They're going to have to pass on the cost to us, the consumer, because whatever element it is, whether it's just a component of the finished product, it's coming from outside of the US. Groceries, of course. I was joking about the avocados, but even canned food and snacks can be affected by this because of the aluminum, of the packaging, of the plastic. Um, so this could further raise food costs. Just want to bring all this to your attention because, like I said, I don't know how any of us could get around all of the different things that potentially could be impacted. So I want us to be ready as much as we can. So I touched on this already too, automotive parts and accessories. Many car maintenance products and replacement parts are sourced globally. So that could bring up the cost of even, like I said, we're not always buying a car, but we're always getting an oil change or getting a car battery or needing some type of work on our cars. So we could be impacted there. Toys and games, a majority of the toys at Walmart are manufactured in China, specifically China. And we know that that is one of the top 3 countries that we will see impacted with this. So families are seeing price increases there for, I'm talking everything. If you want to buy a board game or a toy or a doll or everything is going to be impacted. It's all going to trickle down because we are heavily reliant upon other countries. So furniture, of course, because we're bringing in wood, steel, fabric, all those things that I've been mentioning. Okay, so even pet supplies. I was looking at an article specific to Walmart and low-cost retailers. So they said that pet supplies could also, they contain those type of ingredients that are sourced from outside of the US. So we could see an impact even there. School supplies. It's just across the board. We have to be ready for this. And, I hope that we are not heavily impacted. I hope that potentially there is a significant amount of it already here, but I don't know. I don't know how much it will last. And, sometimes even if a store has something available, if they see the opportunity to charge a higher price just because they know that these tariffs are in place, sometimes they do. Kind of makes me think of, and I'm not talking about anything. I'm sure that those things are not legal. Just like when we have a natural disaster or something and they try to raise the price of water or something like that to something, astronomical. But we have to just be ready for the long term on this. And potentially, I'm not saying, I don't want us to get carried away and try to stockpile things. But we've been through some different things, and I think the impact is going to trickle down to us. So just something I just wanted to talk about, because I want us to realize that if you're not keeping up with the news, I want to bring you the information and keep you up to date so that we can just know the big picture, that if you don't think that this affects you, I'm sure it does, because like I talked about so many different things with the car, and you may need so many different things I touched on already. So I can't see if that there's nothing in there that will not impact your personal budget. So when it comes to, let's talk a little bit about some sectors that could benefit from the tariffs. So it seems clear that automakers like Ford and General Motors could benefit from, being here in the US, as opposed to those imported vehicles that the administration is trying to cut back on. And then defense related minerals, medical suppliers, and just anything that there is a thriving network already that the U.S. is able to handle. So let's see. So when it comes to pharmaceuticals, for example, Eli Lilly announced a $27 billion investment to build 4 manufacturing megasites within the U.S. So this aligns with the government's effort to reassure business activities and reduce the dependence on foreign suppliers. But every company that we are currently dealing with is not going to be able to make a move like that. And, depending on what type of medication you need and things like that, we may not luck out and have a, be connected to a company that has made a move like this that could potentially benefit them by taking advantage of what's going on, as well as benefiting us by not having us to have to deal with the higher costs of getting what we need into the US. So, I want to say tariffs are good and bad because I can't see that the administration would want to do this if they didn't see some good in the long term of it. But I'm concerned about the bad, even if it is somewhat short term, because of the increased costs to the consumers that many of us are already struggling. If we're renters, increased rents. Even if we're not renters, so many increased costs with just our home heating, electricity, car insurance. I'm always complaining about that car insurance, and I have a teenage daughter that I just took her out driving this afternoon. We've been going, I'm trying not to let a few, every few days we've been trying to go out driving. And I don't even know what the insurance costs are going to be when she's officially added on, because she's still under her permit stage right now. But March 4th and April, we will be seeing further changes. So be on the lookout and, like I said, be prepared for those car prices, metal imports. Be ready to navigate the economic changes that are coming. So let's see. Do I have anything else here? All right, so let me take a minute and go through the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic of the day. Let me go back a little bit. Thank you, Joe, for that super chat. And thank you, Sledge, and everyone who has tuned in. Miss V, anyone that I did not say hello to. Just Gifted, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the support. So let me take a look at some comments. The one, too late. I have been stocking up on everything. I learned my lesson. Wait a second. During COVID. Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Yes. But it is what it is. If it happens, it happens. But I definitely remember those days when there was no paper products at the supermarket and there was limitations and all of that. Yeah, I hope that it doesn't go down that road. You always forget to pay your car insurance, Jamie. What are you talking about? Let's see. This was many years ago when we were having issues with anthrax in the mail. This a long time ago. I think my car insurance was one of the first bills that I actually automated, because it was important and I was having some issues going way back in the days when you used to mail checks. There were certain bills that were the first ones that I had to say, yeah, let's do this automation thing, because they're regular bills and there's no reason to try to avoid. Okay, let me guys, if you guys dropped any questions in the chat, please drop them again. I ran to the grocery store for I ran a grocery store for 23 years. Trust me, even if they have a product in-house, they will still raise the price. Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but I'm worried that even long before or if certain things are impacted that we're going to start to see that. And yeah. I don't want to sound negative, but I want us to be ready for as ready as we can. If you guys have not been keeping up with the news, what have you been seeing in the news related to tariffs? Is there anything in particular that you are concerned about, and especially that you will be going up and what you need on a regular basis, whether it's in the short term or long term? PG said it already costs $1 million to eat out. It does. It's not everything is so expensive. It's not even like we used to think Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, if you were just on just wanted to grab something quickly, even that is expensive in my opinion nowadays. So let me see if there's any questions. So Doublespeak is saying his interpretation of a cash buffer is 3 times your monthly income, question mark, or more. Are you asking or are you telling? I see a question mark in there. I always say that as far as an emergency fund and things like that, it's hard to say. I think you should just try to have as much as possible. It's because I am very focused on being an investor and long-term investing. You don't want to have too much money tied up in savings, not reaping the benefits of being invested. But at the same time, depending on what industry you are in, the times that we are living in right now, and potentially these tariffs could lead to a lot more job loss. So it's really hard to determine what is good enough for a reasonable amount, depending on your industry, depending on where you live, depending on your responsibilities. I've talked to people and I see that the amount of time that you are laid off, it could really vary depending on your industry and where you live and the circumstances that we are currently living under. It has changed everything drastically. Okay, so Nightbot is telling me to take a station break. So guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel if you want to hear about all things money, stock market, crypto, budgeting, and more. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can keep up with all my videos and live streams. Consider joining channel membership. Use my referral links if you're ready to open up a new account. They are always in my descriptions. Yes, and hit that like whenever you come in or watch one of my videos, shorts, or any of my content. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Rob, for checking out the live today. So, gas is so expensive right now. I know. Everything is so expensive right now. Okay. All right. So guys, let me know if you have any questions on today's topic. Like I said, I'm going to try to put some videos together concerning a few things that I have on my mind. But like I've been saying, well, this is off topic. I'm trying to just keep this live to the topic of the day. So I'm going to save what I have on my mind for the video that I'm going to record. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope that I hope you enjoyed this topic. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions, ideas for future topics. If you want to do another week when we look at different stocks and you know, the hot topics of the week and stuff like that. I do that sometimes. I don't always do vertical. We can do things and look at some other information. But thank you guys for tuning in. I think I might try to take a second and gift some memberships while I'm online. And then we will be wrapping it up for the day. So, guys, I'm going to jump over to YouTube for a second and see if I can get. Oops. Let me see. I remember last time I had a little struggle in trying to find where to do the gifted memberships. I hope you guys have your gifted memberships on. I haven't been reminding you all the time, but I was reminding you guys earlier in the year that I would do this from time to time. Let's see. Okay, so congrats to DWP, Jordan Rules, M. Morgan, Khadija Reeves, and Cruise Scratcher for getting those gifted memberships today. And let's see. Thank you for Peachy for being a channel member. And thank you again with Thrive and Glow with Joe for that super chat. So I will see you next week. Make sure to have that notification bell on. Leave me some comments whenever you check out any of my videos, even if it's just a yellow heart, just to let me know that you were there. Thanks for tuning in. And like I said, feel free to leave me any comments on any topics that you would like me to cover, whether it's in a live or just a video in general. I appreciate your support and your feedback. See you next week. Stock it up, stock it up, stock it up.